What's up, everybody in the Nerddom Kingdom? My name is Kyle, and you're listening to the Nerd BS podcast, where the BS stands for bean sauce, and we're going to be cooking up some beans today. We got multiple recipes that we're really excited to try out, and so my favorite is just refried beans. What about you, Tomas? What's your favorite kind of bean sauce?
I think that 7-layered bean dip is pretty good. But if we're gonna go without like just putting extra stuff in it, I'm a fan of black beans, man. I love me some black beans.
Yeah, black beans on tacos. What about you, Alan? What's your favorite bean sauce?
I guess I'm a fan of a good chili, but you know what I enjoy more about a good chili? I enjoy one without beans, and I think we could take the beans out of this one.
Good point. This is not a bean podcast. This is Nerd Backstory, is what it stands for. We like to give the backstory on video games, movies, basic stories revolving around nerd topics. And backstory can mean what actually happened, what's happening, and the backstory on our lives, how it connects to us, why we love it so much, why we call ourselves nerds and are proud of it. And so let's get into it. But before we do, Alan, if somebody would want to reach out to us, talk to us, ask us a question, please ask us some questions. How can they reach us?
Well, there's multiple ways. We have the best and foremost is easily our Twitter, which is at nerd_BS. We have my Twitter too, because I run both of them, at ScadMatrix. We have our YouTube, which you may be listening this on, but if you're not and you're on a podcast platform, feel free to go check that out and go ahead and like it and comment and subscribe. And at any of those places, if you want to join our Discord, we have a growing community of fellow nerds where we discuss a lot of separate topics that don't make it on the show, and also plan to do some more video game stuff and things like that in the future. But if you want to join that, you got to contact us on one of those other places. And don't forget, the last and probably foremost is our email at nerdbackstory@gmail.com, which I do check on occasion. So any of those places.
Yeah, we check it. We check them all. So reach out to us, ask us questions, let us know what you think. And let's just talk about, we missed an episode. We really try to stay on top of it every 2 weeks rotation, just because, first of all, it keeps us sane, having that consistency. And we like, if you're listening to it, you expect it every 2 weeks, whatever day, on the weekend that we get it, or weekend we publish it, that you can listen to it. And we tried and we tried and we tried, and we got together, I think, 2 or 3 times, and it just didn't work out. And so we skipped an episode. And so here we are, and we're gonna do it again. It's we're back at it, and it just, stuff happens. And again, I can't wait to just do this in person with you guys in face. It's just gonna be more fun. I look forward to that day. But until then, let's get into this week's stories. And we have, because of what I just talked about, we have 2 episodes of WandaVision we're going to talk about. There will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, and if you haven't watched it yet, fast forward, and so we're going to be talking about it. So
We will plan on not only saying when we're done talking about it, but once I get the time stamp, I will try to put it on the YouTube video, which will help that situation. So look down there if you want to skip it.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you. So let's talk about WandaVision. I have not, I haven't seen the most current one, and but I did see the reveal about the other witch that's in town. I did catch up on that one. So I'll be honest. I'll just start with this. It kind of it did kind of lose me, the show. It's kind of turned, and I'm going to finish it because there's only one more left. But it's kind of dragged on
Yeah,
here.
actually, this may be a bit of a spoiler, but the next episode, it only moves the story along in that, I mean, it does fill in some things about Wanda, although I feel like a lot of the things we knew, and it does definitely in the post credits really go, oh, and we forgot to continue the story along, so here's a step in the story continuation. And it's like, oh, thank you, you gave us a bunch of backstory dump, and then you decided to take one step on in the story. So yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying too, Kyle, about kind of losing you, because dude, I didn't watch this last episode until Sunday, no, Monday night I watched it. And usually I watch it like Friday or Saturday at the very latest, you know?
Mm,
But I was like,
hmm. Yep.
I'll I'll see it when I get around to it, you know? Like, I wasn't excited for the next episode.
Right.
Uh, the end of the very last episode, I wasn't excited for the next episode until the post credits. And when the post credits came on, I was like, "Oh, okay, the next episode could be really interesting." I didn't realize there's
Yeah.
only one more
Mm.
left, though. I thought it was two more left.
Nope, only one more is what I'm hearing, and hearing 9 episodes. I could be wrong about that, but that's what my sources tell me.
They've really got to wrap it up then,
Yeah.
because they've left a lot open.
Well, here's the thing. You don't they do they need to wrap it up? I mean, this is gonna bleed into, not only other shows, but potentially another season, correct? I mean, we haven't been it hasn't been announced there's gonna be another season yet, but with the ratings and everything that's been happening with the show, I wouldn't doubt if it happened. Uh I I I would say I watched it immediately. I had no issues with that. The one previous to it, I agree, was a bit weaker than the rest. I actually this is almost a blessing in disguise for me, in the sense where last episode that was no longer here, that doesn't exist. I was actually pretty down on the show because of it. It was I knew where it was going. I knew who she was. I figured it out pretty quick, but I didn't like the reveal. Uh,
Oh.
but I do disagree with you. The current episode, I loved the current episode, because while yes, we knew some of that stuff, but it wasn't as elaborate as it is now. Like, we got a really true story. Like, they really just kind of brushed over a lot of this stuff in the past, whereas this we really got in depth into why she is how she is, what her background really is, what her relationship was with her family, how the being a part of the bomb, and the potential of maybe it wasn't malfunctioned, maybe you did something to stop it from happening, and that type of stuff. We also got more background in the sense where it explained. Uh, her intrusion into Sword, which we got a brush on it, but we've come to find out that that was obviously taken out of context and shown to them, whereas she was really just coming to basically bury her partner, just to have some sort of normalcy in her life. To essentially, it sounded like she was just trying to move on, and she needed to get everybody else. I think I can't. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna kill the quote, but I'm pretty much sure she says, "Everybody else gets a chance to get over this. I haven't got my chance yet."
Yeah.
And as she's looking for this service to happen so she can move past, but they won't allow it. And this is where it gets weird, because it is also a very good reason why they wouldn't allow it, because it is like what he say, almost a couple $1,000,000 of equipment, because at a met yeah,
A
it's
vibranium.
vibranium.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like they could have done that better. I feel like they could have just let it happen, buried him, and then dug it up a couple months later, and then continued their research, but made her happy, let her move past it, and then maybe she'd be more prone to accept what they have to do with recycling and whatnot. Uh, but I digress. I still think I loved this current episode, is what I'm getting at, including the reveal. And I hate spoiling this for Kyle, but I think we're are we
That,
you
that's
have your
fine.
blessing? Okay. We have
Yeah. Yeah.
we have a reveal of White Vision, which is a pretty cool concept because in the concepts, in the comics, we talk about White Vision. We talk about White Vision a lot as when he is destroyed, he does come back because, from what I've understood, and I could be butchering this, but from what I've understood, because I didn't read this story, but Wanda actually brings him back because it's the same. It's a similar situation where he dies, and Wanda has the power to bring him back, and they did have a relationship. And when she does, basically brings him back, not knowing who she was at all. So basically, she brings him back, but at what cost? And he does become part of the West Coast Avengers and everything like that. But this is looking to be either a nod to that, to where he's going to be a villain, or potentially we could have Vision in the Phase 4, just in a different sense, which could be interesting as well. I loved it. I loved it. But my whole family, we all dig it. Like I said earlier, we watch it weekly, on the day of, and enjoy the crap out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not that I don't enjoy the show. It's a fantastic show. It's one of the best things you could watch right now, especially on Disney. I wasn't able to watch it just because I had other stuff going on. I had family over. It's just been with the missing last podcast, plus other things going on, it's been a tiring week. It's not like I intentionally said I don't want to watch it. It just really didn't come up, and I even thought before we recorded, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I totally just blanked on it." And that's just other life stuff. But in the context, like we the reveal of Agatha was just a little bit of lackluster. So if you take just the show, put it in a vacuum, that was probably the worst episode.
Mhm.
And so it also didn't it get me enthused to see the White Vision episode and that reveal, and whatnot. But yeah, and then that being said, the show is still really fun, and I am curious as to see how they will wrap it up if there's only one more episode.
Also,
So
like, understand, I say it was it was the episode that I liked the least, but it's the episode that I like the least out of a show that I would say has consistently gotten at least a 7 out of 10 from me. Actually, the only time it got a low score from me was last episode and this one. So, if we're going looking at the show's run, the show has definitely been better than probably, like you said, anything that you can watch on Disney right now. So,
I mean, you have
right,
Mandalorian. That's a
yeah,
pretty high
yeah. So
bar.
it's
yeah. Yeah. But I personally enjoy this more than Mandalorian because I like Mandalorian and everything, but I've never been as huge as a Star Wars nerd as you guys. I've always been more into comics, and even though I've never been as much into Marvel as I've been in DC, I've been loving the WandaVision. I want more of it. I can't wait for the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Well, at the end of the day, this is definitely the I think a great introduction to Phase 4, and it potentially our introduction to the mutants, the X-Men, who we know will be coming to the MCU. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because we will get our X-Men. It's just, when are we getting them? Uh, so we did
I
talk
like the
about this.
ownership you put on that.
Yeah, we're getting
Our
them.
X-Men.
We're getting our X-Men.
because X-Men Wolverine Origins, that's not my Wolverine. Nuh-uh, that's not my Spider-Man.
uh, but we did just, sadly, we're just gonna go past that. X-Men. We want to talk about Marvel. We want to talk about X-Men in particular, and I want to bring this up because I know all of us, even if, like Tomas said, he's not as big of a Marvel fan as he is DC, I would beg to say that X-Men is probably pretty high on his list, even for not mattering which universe it's really
Yeah.
in. Uh, X-Men's amazing, and we all three love it. So, what are you guys thinking about us finally getting the X-Men? I mean, we've had more information since the hype of Quicksilver,
Mm.
uh, but did anybody have any speculation or anything that they are like excited for the inclusion of mutants coming into the MCU?
Well, like I said in our one little dud episode that I felt like that yeah, it definitely has opened the door for more mutants to be added. It has definitely created a chance for them to pull the mutants in and things like that. Um I I I feel like though phase 4 is a little early to be hoping for the mutants cuz as far as I remember they haven't announced any mutant for phase 4. Um so
Right.
I mean I know they're coming but I don't know if I'd be like, "Oh, they're right around the corner." But I don't know. I don't know.
They probably aren't because my guess is they this was the big reveal, right? And for me, the reveal of this Quicksilver that was originally in the X-Men universe that was not owned by Disney, even though it wasn't really him. The fact that they brought that actor over, and that was a deep cut. So you had to
Yeah.
know the X-Men from the Fox, the 20th Century Fox X-Men, and the other Quicksilver guy that got shot in the Avengers movies. You had to really be a nerd to understand all that. And to me, that was the biggest reveal. Now I haven't seen the new Vision guy and in all that. It sounds great, but to me, I love the X Men more than any other characters in Marvel, and so that just the idea of having the multiverse, even if it's a one shot thing, even if it's a what if, I would love to see that with a couple cameos from those actors that play the X Men in that universe. So it sounds like Alan, you have some more information on the X Men coming over.
I don't really have more information. I have more theories, and I think I've stretched this out for a bit. I keep talking about people with this, and we're really digging into Wanda, and you could tell this whole uh, show they've been really doing some heavy um, inspiration from the House of M, which for those that don't know, in the Marvel comics they they have huge events, and one of those like the Thanos event, Infinity War stuff, Civil War, things like that. X Men versus Avengers, is another good one. But one of the big events was House of M, which particularly the main thing you pull from House of M is that Wanda or Scarlet Witch actually uses her powers in a fit of emotion to basically wipe the majority of mutants off of 616, which is Earth, it's a pretty devastating event because there becomes this handful of mutants that are left over. So this is where my theories come in for this particular show, because we are been learning through Monica, who her DNA is being altered currently uh, to become Phantom, Photon. Sorry, Photon.
Monica, Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau. She's obviously going to be turning into Photon. This radiation is altering her DNA to become a mutant. Now, in the Marvel Comics, she was not a mutant, but the MCU can change that. Why not? Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot is I've been really getting into Miss Marvel, the most current Miss Marvel, which is Kamala Khan. Now, Kamala Khan is also getting her own show this year. Miss Marvel is getting a show at the end of the year.
This is you're talking about someone that's not in the movies
Not in the
right now.
movies. This is a new character to the MCU. This would be a brand new character. She's getting her own show. She's probably the most popular new character. I think she was created in 2015 or 2014, which is pretty nuts because most of the superheroes that are appearing in this stuff is pretty old characters. And a lot of the cuts are pretty deep. Like you'd have to really do some research for a lot of this knowledge.
She's for sure getting her own show though.
It is already in production. She's getting her own show at the end of the
Oh,
year.
that's cool. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yes, but the kicker is where is Miss Marvel from? This particular Miss Marvel. She's actually from New Jersey. Where's WandaVision?
Mhm.
The whole show is happening in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, Look at that. Look at you
Now,
putting those pieces together.
so now this is the thing though. Miss Marvel is also an Inhuman in the comics. But if we're gonna change Photon from, I don't remember if she's a human. I don't think she was. I think she just had powers. Now, I feel like we can change her to a mutant, and I feel like Miss Marvel can become a mutant as well, which would make Wanda, instead of the destroyer of the mutants, now the birth of the mutants in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a possibility. It's just that I like I said, I would love to see the mutants introduced. I would love to see the X-Men introduced. I just, from what I had heard, was to be announced for Phase 4. I hadn't heard any mutants, although I hadn't heard about Kamala Khan, who is, like you said, not originally a mutant. She's an Inhuman, but because like they did in the Avengers game, didn't they make her a mutant in that? Well, they were calling them
No,
Inhumans
she was
still,
an Inhuman. She was an Inhuman,
but
yeah, in the
the
game.
Inhumans were made by an accident in that. Remember?
No, so how the Inhumans are created by quote unquote accident is actually the Inhumans came to Earth, basically became part of our society and interbred with humans. And so why there's these accidental mutants is that basically they have Inhuman blood that has actually become a dominant gene. It's usually a recessive gene, but if it becomes dominant, you get powers.
Yeah, but
That's how it works with the
I
humans.
was talking about the Avengers game on PS5 and Xbox and stuff like that. She gets her powers from the explosion, like all the Inhumans.
Yes. Well, so in the comics, at least when I read with Miss Marvel, it was like some sort of smoke, which they didn't explain, that triggered her powers. Uh, so usually it's like mutants. It is triggered in some sort of drastic event or a chemical change. So in the game, they never really said if she was a mutant or an Inhuman, but she did get powers through that case. But it's still up in the air, is all I'm getting at. Could be either.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, if you that world where if you were, in a world where we live with COVID right now, if you got infected, you actually got superpowers.
That'd
Yeah.
be so awesome.
But yeah, but you're also shamed for doing it. So you're an outcast and you're criminalized and all that. So what's your choice? You don't get to choose your power either. It's random. It's roll of a dice. So what? I'm seriously like, what do you guys choose? Do you choose to get it? Do you choose to get the gene?
I would do it.
It would be nice to have a mutant
Because
ability.
you could get the you could get Wolverine healing,
Oh, that
which
would
would
be
be
so
awesome.
nice.
Or you could get Jubilee fireworks, which does
Hey,
nothing.
Jubilee's fireworks are pretty good.
Yeah.
Now the one that's real, I can't remember his name right now.
Don't defend
Don't do it.
Jubilee.
Don't you do it.
Jubilee makes some is actually a pretty powerful mutant. But the worst mutant is the one, I forget what
No,
his name is.
no.
There's a mutant that had the power of nobody could remember him, and he actually basically his appearance and everything didn't stick in your brain. Even Professor X couldn't remember him, so he would do things and save people and do stuff, but no one would remember he did it. So that was his power.
Well,
So
yeah,
that's a good power to have.
you could get that power. I mean,
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember that.
I'll find it for you guys.
you could also get like the lame power to shoot beams out of your eyes and stuff like that. I mean, sheesh.
Is it lame power?
Yeah, like who wants to shoot beams out of their eyes? It's like this is the quickest way to get defeated. Just smack them in the eyes.
Yeah. Oh, he has his weaknesses for sure, but he makes up for it by being
Cyclops
one of
is
the best
amazing. I
leaders.
love Cyclops. Yes.
He makes up for it by being one of the biggest Boy Scouts of the X-Men. That's the problem.
And I love it.
You want to okay?
I
Cap,
I do love Cyclops.
yeah, Cyclops, especially in the comics, he is actually a shady guy. Shady guy. He does some really interesting things for the betterment of mutants. I mean, he brings back the X Force to assassinate people. He's a
Yeah.
he's a
See,
he's a guy. He's a character.
He's
he
pretty bad A.
yeah, he infects himself and a couple other mutants with the Phoenix Force to take back Earth.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Look how
that's
well
a
that went for him.
oof. Well, before we get too far into the Phoenix Force, that is this week's stories. We're just sticking with WandaVision because there's a lot there, and we're gonna go into video games, and there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit to talk about just with Nintendo alone, and so we're gonna start with that. Nintendo had a direct, which is called Nintendo Direct. Clever, right? It is basically their way of announcing, "Hey, here's the games we have coming out," and pretty much it pisses half the fans off every time they do one, and the other half just does it. It doesn't matter what they do.
That's actually kind of my question was, after seeing the Nintendo Direct and after seeing like video game announcements and stuff like from Blizzard and stuff like that when they used to do it on TV and stuff or at the big cons, do you guys feel like this new way is okay, or do you feel like it's not the con, like they should?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like the E3, they would announce a lot. Yeah, so they were already a lot of companies, big companies, were already pulling out of E3 specifically. Nintendo being one of them to do this. I think if this allows them to do it more often and do it better, then this should be the way. And obviously, it worked out because of COVID to have these things. They've been able to work and announce things this whole time. And that on top of they were already going this direction, this is how it's going to be. That being said, I literally got an email today about it was SoCal Retro Gaming Convention, and I think it's more of a game swap, game selling convention. But I had tickets a year ago, and we're now in March, and it was supposed to be in March last year, and they refunded, or I think I got a refund, and they said we'll be back next year, and so they emailed me today and say, yeah, we totally did not realize that a year is not going to be enough time. Nobody did, and
Mhm.
so I don't know when cons are going to come back, conventions of any sort, and when they do, because it takes planning. Like they're gonna have to plan for it now for next year, a year's time from now, and I think by then things will be open. I'm pretty sure 2022 is the year things will open, and there will be normalcy in regards of conventions. But I think we're gonna see. Yeah, I think we're just gonna see more of the online though. I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be what it is.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper, and it gets more people. I mean, those conventions, they're nice, I guess. I actually don't really like them that much. Not these types. I like certain conventions, but not for like this stuff where it's just news. Because you can get the news online, and even when they went to the conventions, they they just posted it like right after it had happened, anyways.
Yeah.
So it didn't really
Well, there
matter.
were people that would be
Uh,
filming during the convention. That would be your like
exactly.
update, like.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
Well, I do miss though the days of okay, E3's coming. That's when all the big announcements are, and now it's more whenever they feel like it is when it's gonna happen. I miss the structure of it and just the timing of it, I guess. And there, there's definitely something about getting together with a big group of people. The energy's
Mhm.
different. It's and they would broadcast it later. I think it. I hope it shifts to something a little bit different because I don't watch them live and I don't even watch them rebroadcast anymore because I just read or listen
Oh,
to
I,
someone
I
else.
usually
So
I actually do the directs. The Nintendo directs specifically are the only ones I get really excited for. I will actually grab my son and we will put it on our TV and watch them. I love Nintendo directs. They do such a good job. I love Smash characters being announced, even though I don't really care about the one that was announced this time. But it's just fun for me. But I'm a Nintendo head, I guess you could call it.
yeah, I am too though, right? Like I have the
Yeah.
Nintendo Shrine. I think they got to get a different host. I'm tired of the stiff manager kind of guy. It's the people that run Nintendo, but I feel like you could just hire a professional and it'd be a little bit more fun on my end.
While I understand what you're saying, I actually kind of prefer letting the games speak for themselves. Personally, I just don't even like hype them up. Just play the trailers. Let me see what the games can do.
I don't I didn't say hype them up. I just give me a better host.
That's fine.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, I totally agree with you. The games should speak for themselves, but it kills me, man.
I get
It's
it.
just that's not their strong point, and it kills it for me.
I get it.
So
yeah,
it's just odd to me, like that you guys maybe you're saving some money by not hiring. I don't know. Who knows what Nintendo does? That's the story, right? They do what they do.
I mean, it's working. Whatever it is, it's working.
It's working, yeah, and I still love them. I just like also complaining about them.
We love them so much.
That being said, yeah, are you gonna finish that?
I was gonna say we love them so much. We're actually recording on the official 4th birthday of the Nintendo Switch. By the way, when this comes out, it'll be after that. But it's pretty cool. I don't know. I thought it was a
Isn't
cool
that
little
crazy?
bonus note.
Yeah,
4 years.
It came out
Already,
in March,
dang.
dude.
It's only technically half the console's lifespan, and it's already sold 80 million. It's already like 9th, I think, in top consoles sold, and it's not even halfway
It's
through its
gonna
life,
pass.
the normal lifespan.
It's gonna pass the Wii. It's gonna pass the Wii for sure.
Now, will it pass the
For total
PS2? That's the
sales.
question.
I don't know.
PS2 is like 154 million.
But
yeah,
I went to GameStop today to reserve Hades, the physical game of Hades, and some dude literally someone bought a brand new Switch, and the person in front of me bought a brand new.
Yeah,
so
I don't doubt it.
I know on
Yeah,
our Dud
it's crazy.
podcast, I talked about getting the Mario game and watching someone buy a Switch. So every time I go to GameStop, someone's buying a Switch, and I'm pretty sure it's going to pass Wii, and maybe we could do a countdown if it passes the PS2. We'll have a watch party or something. Be like New Year's, but yeah. Anyways, the fact that it launched in March again, Nintendo's going to do what they do. They're like, oh yeah, holidays. What are those? We're confident in our console. It's just we're going to launch it in the middle of a school year. So boom, and it's like you said, it's climbing and doing successfully.
Yeah, it's just doing so good.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize it was today. That was the birthday.
Yeah, it's today. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Actually, so funny enough, I also bought a Switch Lite.
Well, you got one finally?
With some birthday money of my own. You could buy them refurbished for a pretty discounted price on the Nintendo website, and it comes in an official box and everything.
Nice.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the refurbished one. I hope it's.
Yeah, I love my Lite.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to crack it open and check it out.
Well, anyways, we have our Nintendo Direct, and then we had a Pokemon Direct too. In between last session would have launched, and this cast. So I think we're gonna talk about both of them, right? So we're just gonna talk about some games.
Yeah. I'm confused. I'm under the impression that Pokemon. Why wouldn't Pokemon be in the Nintendo Direct?
This is something that people confuse all the time. They always get mad at Nintendo whenever a Pokemon game isn't up to snuff or what have you, or even when Pokemon does specific things, like when Breath of the Wild came out, like people were freaking out that the next Pokemon game didn't look as beautiful, not realizing that it's not the same company. I mean, it kind of is, but it isn't. And really what it is the Pokemon Company, which is its own entity in itself, is compressed of 3 companies: Nintendo, Game Freak, and finally, Creature Inc. Creature Inc. mainly focuses on the card game. Game Freak does the video games, and Nintendo is basically just a publisher that owns a portion.
Right. Yeah, and doesn't Nintendo? I thought they own a pretty small, in comparison to the other 2 companies, portion of it, but they're just our names on it. They get a piece of the pie, basically.
Yeah, they get a piece of the pie, and all the games are exclusive to their consoles. So
Mm,
that's pretty much.
yes,
Uh,
that's a
So
good
what about
deal.
with the I'm curious then, when they make the movies, who do they have to contract with to make the movies? Probably Game Freak then,
See, that's
right?
it's
Good
actually
question.
they have to make a contract with the Pokemon Company, which is the conglomerate
Of all
that all
3.
three companies compress. Yes, so basically those two, the Creature Inc. does the card games, Game Freak does the video games, and Nintendo does like publishing and a little bit
Mm.
else. But then the three of them together also run or have a separate company called the Pokemon Company. So, and they're the ones that do all that networking and stuff.
Man,
So it's a pretty insane business model, but it's freaking working.
in a way, you have to give it credit because, like, I can't think besides of maybe, like, Capcom, which I don't know, is Capcom its own company anymore still, or have they been bought out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they
Capcom's its
are.
own
Okay.
company.
But so interesting you say that. They have a deal with Nintendo right now where they have like a mini arcade within the Nintendo eShop. So
Yeah.
you have to
Uh-huh.
download the Capcom arcade, and then you have to buy packs
Oh,
of
dang.
games. So you have to, yeah. So and they were giving away. It's past now, but they gave away a few games for free if you just downloaded it. And I missed it by a day. I missed the free game, but it's like
I
a
didn't even know there was
2 hour game.
free games. I kind of wish I would have grabbed it now.
Yeah, it was Ghosts and Goblins. I think was the free one.
Excluding, like, Capcom, and I'm sure there's a few others, but, like, Nintendo has really stayed in business as a gaming developed company and not really switched its style up in how many years? Like, I mean, pretty much every Pokemon game is roughly the same game. It's every I love them.
Yeah,
Like, I buy every new one that comes out. I can't get enough. Like,
right. And again, I would very true. And excluding Breath of the Wild, I would say every Zelda game is kind of the same
uh
story, and there's different nuances, which I'm sure I don't play Pokemon, but I'm sure Pokemon has
yes,
different
yes.
nuances.
Yeah,
And
each
at this
one's
direct, they
different.
said, by the way, we're re-releasing Zelda Skyward Sword in HD. Suck it. You gonna buy another game from us
Oh
because you
yeah,
love it.
it is. My son was so stoked when they announced that game, and I was just, I have it for Wii. That's what I
I'm
was like. I have it for Wii if you want to play it. It's right
I
here.
don't wanna play it
But he
on
wants to
Wii.
play it on the
it's
Switch.
ready to go.
He doesn't wanna
Yeah.
play it on Wii.
Yeah, and on that note, we could go back to Pokemon in a minute, but on that note, now that we're a little bit away from the direct, because last time we tried to record it was the day of, so it was all fresh. But now that I've had a time to think about it and hear what they're doing, they, like you said, Skyward Sword is on the Wii and originally, and so it has a lot of motion controls. It's a ton of motion controls, and I thought they were great. I thought it was a nice little end cap to the Wii's life cycle. But they, because you have the Switch Lite, right, Tomas?
Yeah.
Which means you don't have motion controls.
Nope.
So now they have to make every game possible to use with buttons, and they're doing some weird stick thing. I'm curious how if it's gonna play out because I love that game, but will it work on the console? And I'm sure it will. I'm sure they figured it out. It'll be fine. But it's just it costs too much. I think it should be cheaper. And we said the same thing with Mario All Stars. It should be a little bit cheaper, but
I disagree on if it should be cheaper or not because it's gonna sell, and I don't think I don't think
oh
it needs to be
yeah,
cheaper than it is
I mean the business
personally.
model. Yeah, if people buy it, I mean that's good business, right? I just say for the personal, a game that I bought for $50.
Oh, you want it to be cheaper for you to purchase it. Got it. Yeah.
I think, well, a remastered game. I mean, look at the Resident Evil games. Those didn't come out full price, did they? Or am I mistaken?
I I don't feel like the PlayStation one came out for full price. I don't know about Resident Evil 5 didn't come out at full price. I know that one didn't, but I don't know about the
You're
rest of them.
correct, Kyle. I've looked at them, and I haven't seen any remasters that have come out for cheaper, but the ones they've been porting over have all been cheaper. But I would argue that's different. I don't know about any of the remaster ones.
No, not the remakes. The remakes is
So
what I'm
like
talking about.
you're talking
The
about
completely redone
the first remake, number one. Oh no, two came out as a full retail.
full
I'm
retail
pretty sure
price.
Resident
Oh,
Evil 2
okay.
came out as a full TV retail price. But
Uh,
those are also remakes, though. That's like they built that game from the ground up.
yeah. Well, and that's well. Then those deserve to be full price then, because yeah, you built a game. This isn't just a port that with up-res graphics. And so again, as a business, I absolutely agree with Nintendo. Charge $60 because people are going to buy it for sure. Now, as someone with morals and a game that's been out for 10 years that I already owned that was cheaper when it came out and came with a Wiimote when you bought it, that to me just doesn't seem right.
Okay,
That's what I'm
that's a
getting at.
valid argument.
I am personally excited for and will pay full price for because I agree with you, Kyle. I think that if it's a game that's not being like fully redone and stuff, it shouldn't be full price. But I also see like you're right. The company also wants to make as much as they can out of it, and I'll probably actually not probably I will be getting the Ninja Gaiden collection because I mean, other than Pokemon, that's probably the only thing I really love about Nintendo is the old. Well, I never really played the old Ninja Gaidens, but I played the 360 and the
Right. Yeah.
Xbox,
Yeah.
and
So,
oh man, I beat every single one of them.
are you getting it on Switch, or are you going to get it on PS4? Or
I'm probably actually gonna get it on my light, honestly,
really? Okay.
because for the PS4 for the PS4, I have great ninja games on the PS4. I've got Ghost of Tsushima, I've got Neo, I've got Neo 2. So I want a fun ninja game that I can take on the road. So I'm probably gonna get it on the
Okay.
light.
Yeah,
Cool.
that is hard to beat. The portability of games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe I'm gonna go that way with Alan. Hell, I might go both ways with it. I might just be like, yeah, I'm gonna get on the console
Yeah.
and on the
It looked
light.
Yeah,
really
we all
cool.
knew
I wanna,
you go
in the
both
trailers,
ways.
it looked really cool, but I won't touch that game unless they put an easy mode on it. And I know that destroys the soul of it or whatever, but I don't care enough
Gotta
to
sweat.
stress
You
out
gotta
about it.
sweat while you play, man. It's
I
gotta be
don't
like
want
a
to sweat.
workout.
I would do my workout if I want to sweat. No, I'm good. But we did get a notice on Splatoon 3, which is really cool. I know me and Kyle are really into or like Splatoon. I'm not sure how deep you get into it, but I remember you get into it.
Yeah,
I played it a little bit.
It's a fun one.
I wouldn't say I'm like really into it, but I put a lot of hours into it, and it's a great multiplayer
Hmm.
game on Switch. So this looks like an actual sequel to Splatoon, where the second Splatoon was kind of it felt like,
A
hey, we
remake.
got to get a Splatoon game on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that again, it almost was like like
With
a
some
remake.
features, yeah.
So this one looks like an actual sequel.
Which is nice. I'm excited for that. Uh, Bravely Default 2's out. I think one of our listeners actually got it. I'm curious to know what his opinions is. I've heard it's good. And I started the Project Triangle strategy as well. That was noted. But it was
You got the demo?
yeah, I got the demo. I'm not going to go too deep into it because you can get the demo if you want to try yourself. But it is a JRPG. I tried to do it. I haven't got very far yet. It's got a heavy story, and they really give you. They start at the middle of the game, they say, or at least like 4 hours in or something. So they try to get you caught up briefly, and there's a lot going on because it's like I said, JRPG, Square Enix, a lot of story. But the combat is actually pretty interesting. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I really like the the style. I've been seeing a lot more of this. This more, what would you call it, realistic or dark fantasy, like Game of Thrones or even Elder Scrolls style, where it has this like grungy tone, and this kind of feels on that par, which intrigues me. But the artistic, just like Octopath Traveler, is very beautiful. It's a very good looking game. So I mean, I'd give it a shot. But moving over to Pokemon,
Yeah, we can go back to your Pokemans.
yeah, Pokemans. I know Kyle's not into the Pokemans, so I think we'll go over it real quick. We got, I think, the biggest announcement in there, Diamond and Pearl, in my opinion, because we've been waiting for the remakes of Diamond and
Okay,
Pearl.
all right. Okay, I've heard this. I've heard about this, but you guys got to explain to me why that's a big deal because I hear that and I go, okay, was that an amiibo that came out? What is this?
So every time they've released a new Pokemon recently, since Game Boy Advanced, I think, in between they do like an official mainline game and they remake an old game. We got Leaf Green and Fire Red on GBA. On DS, we got Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which is the remix of Gold and Silver from Game Boy. And then for 3DS, we got Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which were the Game Boy Advanced games. And we haven't gotten anything about this generation in a long time. They After that, they kind of it felt like it was in the back burner, but I think it was because they were they literally rebuilt the game from the ground up again a second time after the 3DS ones that they did. They had to rebuild it again for the Switch. So I think it just took way more assets than they were expecting and way more time. So they weren't able to
Yeah.
make it on the side. And besides, as we've seen, the graphics in this one are actually completely different from those ones. So they rebuilt this game from the ground up as
Mhm.
well, which is actually insane. It looks really cool because it's back to that top-down perspective, which they switched to like a behind
Yeah,
the character's
and
perspective or
also
a third person. Now we're at the up top
I
from
know
like the
that the new
original Pokemon
Pokemon
style.
has
So
kind of
I'm really curious in this game.
started to make the characters, I don't know if, I mean, it's still definitely cartoonish, but your body is proportional. You know what I mean? Like they were starting to do a lot of kind of realism around the characters' look and how they felt and stuff like that. And in this remake of Diamond and Pearl, you just kind of get that cartoony feel again, at least. And I enjoyed that. I miss that fun, like it gets nostalgic to me, I guess. So yeah, I'm glad that they're taking it to the top view again, and I'm glad that they're making it kind of a little more goofy looking. Like they got a big head this time and like really big feet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're doing the big
Um,
feet thing like Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I mean, not like that big, but
no,
they definitely
yeah,
look
not that
like
big.
they definitely look like little balls kind of on the end of the legs, just like
Yeah,
I've never been a fan of that
which is really cool.
any size.
yeah, I like it. I
I
think it's
don't
fun.
understand the big feet. I didn't see the big feet, but saw mostly the over the top stuff. So I'm curious to see where it goes. Uh, we didn't get any news on Pokemon Snap, but I don't think we're gonna get any. I was actually curious. You guys don't play Pokemon Snap, did you? I know Kyle probably didn't at all,
Nah,
but I think
I
Tomas probably
didn't.
had nothing to do with that game
No,
either.
I think we played. No, the game we played was Stadium because it had mini games that were really
Yeah,
fun.
Stadium was really cool. Yeah, but this was coming out. I'm planning on getting it for my birthday, so I'm excited for that one. That one is amazing. I love the original Pokemon Snap. I even bought it on Wii when they made a big deal about it and beat it on there again. So I'm waiting for it to come out again. But I think
I believe
the
I
most exciting thing about,
Is it a new game or a
yes, it's coming.
remaster?
A Pokemon's new Pokemon Snap coming out, brand new. It's a brand new game coming out on April 30th.
which is what's the name of that one? It's
I know it's actually a dumb name. It's like new Pokemon Snap, I think, which I really
ugh,
don't like when they do that. They're just like, it may not even have new in front of it.
I know what happened to Super. What happened to just to the? I mean, I guess that's just Mario Bros.
I don't know, but it gets confusing because now what if they make a third one?
You know what? Well,
What if that happens when they make a
you
third
just
one in like
gotta stop
20
playing
years or
Pokemon.
whatever it took to make this
I
one?
can't
Oh
just stop
gosh.
playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
I guess so. But that one looks cool. I think the biggest one I was excited for, even though I didn't really like Breath of the Wild that much, uh, was the Pokemon Arceus, which I've always been pronouncing it Arceus, and apparently it is Arceus, which is the Pokemon god. But this is Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's basically supposed to be before all the other games, and now we're in like a large open world game with Pokemon.
This is a pretty big deal. This is a pretty big year for Pokemon, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wait, is this new thing, Alan? Is this gonna be like in the Safari Zone type thing?
It's feeling okay,
Like
so
it's not like an actual game. It's just hunting.
no, this is a full it's supposed to be a full game. There's battles in it. There's full on battles. They showed battles in the trailer. Uh, so this
Right.
what I'm getting from this is people were wanting do you remember the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu?
Uh huh.
So in those games they took the aspects from Pokemon Go, the mobile game, and where you basically just threw the ball at the Pokemon to catch them. Well, it appears people thought they were just going to keep remaking the old Pokemon again, get another remake of those old ones uh, with this new style. I actually think
Uh
that
huh.
was more of a early attempt at this. So they're taking that style. So to catch Pokemon is you just throw it at them, or you use like candies and stuff to catch them. No more battling them to catch them in this version.
Uh huh. Okay.
But you get to explore around the world. So it's going to use that mechanic that they've already kind of used, and but in a more exploratory game where you get to explore along this. And it's also in the Sinnoh region, which I need to mention because this is the year of Sinnoh, which is Sinnoh is the area that's in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. But this is also in Sinnoh, but this is
Oh
also
wow.
way back in time. Yeah, so both
Okay.
games are in that region, which is crazy. But all I could say is these all sound great. I love Pokemon, and I'm excited for what is to come
I wanna
for this
be
franchise.
Yeah.
very
Same.
best. Dun, dun,
Same
dun.
here.
One more game that I'm happy for you guys. Enjoy your Pokemon. It's actually for me. It just saves me money. I have nothing against it. It's just I can't get into another series. I have too many. I have too much. Anyways, the other thing is that Marvel Avengers, the game that mostly Alan's been playing. I don't know if Tomas got back on it a little bit, but we kind of suited up and we've been playing it. But the Hawkeye character is being released finally in 15 days from now, March 18th. He's coming out, and as I was looking this up just now, I saw that it also includes the update for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X game. So yeah, which is good news, but it also might
Excellent.
confirm some or answer some questions we've had about the lack of stuff they've been doing with it. They've probably been working on that to get that up and running, which makes sense. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they've been saying that on their live streams about how they were working on the next gen version, which is what was taking a lot of their time. So you're right on that. You're hitting the nail on the head right there. Uh, it is. I haven't played in a while. I actually stopped playing. I was starting to do dailies every day, but then I gave up because number one, nobody else I knew really was playing it, and number two was just getting a little redundant. It's a great game still, and but I watch Twitter pretty consistently, and it's exciting. It's invigorating to see Play Avengers actually consistently posting stuff. They've been posting like they had an update recently. They had an update before that, pretty close. So they're going on there and fixing stuff right now. They're fixing the game before this update. So hopefully this update doesn't just like crash the game. But I'm excited because there's just so much life that feels like this game is alive again for a little bit. So hopefully this continues. And hopefully get some new people on PS5.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping that they start introducing a few more characters a little bit more frequently because.
Yes.
But that being said, I want that. I want a lot of things. I want that, and I want some new game modes because while Hawkeye is exciting, like you said, it just kind of got redundant. So how fun is it going to be to have a new character, but you're doing the same thing still?
Yeah, it's going to be the Wasteland, which is heavily inspired by Old Man Hawkeye, which had his own Old Man series that I was unaware of. I read Old Man Logan, and I knew Hawkeye was in Old Man Logan, but I did not know that Hawkeye actually had his own Old Man Hawkeye, and so this is kind of based off of that. So there's a whole new area, Wasteland. There's a new Maestro's the new villain, which is going to be interesting. We'll see where that's
Right.
going. They're redoing and setting up the loot system, so it's going to be a bit more obtainable and more rewarding, supposedly. They're actually even altering the leveling system a bit. So this is like going to be a huge overhaul. This is what it's sounding like
Yeah.
to the systems in place, which will be nice because they're kind of shaky. And
Yeah.
so it's going to be interesting. And there's going to be better ways to make. They said recently in a tweet today that they were saying there's going to be more obtainable ways to get more costumes, which will be
Oh,
nice as
okay.
well. That so we don't have to. There'll still be the purchasable ones, but there'll be ways to get different costumes without purchasing them, which will be nice. Because right now there's a very limited pool of costumes you can actually even try to get without just buying them. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm super excited, and I really hope you guys get on the bandwagon again. I know Tomas dipped out. I know Kyle's been super busy, but hopefully we can get on and start playing Avengers again soon.
Yeah. I want to. I really do. And so hopefully this will give me some energy to get back in there and suit up.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's exciting though. I'm glad they're doing stuff with it. Yeah, so that's Avengers. We're gonna move on. We're actually gonna do tabletop games tonight. We'll keep this brief, but I do have it listed as the Heroclix match of the year because it's the only one I've had
This year.
in probably it's been a close to a year's time, probably more. Yeah, maybe maybe the only one. No, we might be able to do a couple more. It will definitely be spread out, but I got a little kiddo on the way, which will definitely
Yeah.
halt things again for me. But yeah, Alan and I got together, and Alan's kid Skylar, we played a match. We had a 3 for all, and it was man, it just was great. We both lost to Skylar. Uh, yeah, which but it was just great to be playing again. And
What were the teams?
yeah, so who'd you have, Alan?
I bought the Orville starter set, and so I had my Orville guys all there. They're kind of like Star Trek. If you don't know what the Orville is, made by Seth MacFarlane, it's more of a funny Star Trek, and I actually really love the show, and I can't wait. They're supposed to make a third season. I can't wait. But we were talking about Heroclix with the new rule update, and I got really excited, so I bought that starter set. And so we were going to swing by Kyle's house just to bring him his presents for his birthday. And I just texted him that night. I think I was just like, "Hey, you want to play Heroclix tomorrow?" And I think he just said, "Yeah." And so I got my crap together, and we just brought it down and went to town. It was fun.
We just made it work. And yeah, if you're listening to this and you haven't heard of HeroClix before, it is a tabletop game with miniature figures, Marvel characters, and DC comics. And it's like really intricate chess. You roll dice and you beat up each other's figures, and it's just so much fun. And so
And
yeah,
it's more than comics too. I mean, like Alan pointed out, there's the Orville,
that's
which
true.
I wanted to see that show, Alan. So you've got me now interested in that again. And
You should watch it. The first season's good. At least I still need to go back and watch season 2, but I like it.
yeah, and they had Lord of the Rings pieces. I remember I have a Gandalf
Right.
that I still love. Uh, I don't know.
Oh
He
yeah, I know which one you're
yeah, he
talking
might
about.
be outdated now, but he was back in the day. He was pretty good.
Yeah, you're right. They even have WWE guys now,
Yeah.
which was the most recent one.
Oh yeah, and they have the turtles. Didn't they make a turtles set? I feel like they made a turtles set. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have quite a
they
few
did. They
turtle
had
sets.
several.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true.
But they're comics. They're still comics. But yeah, I guess they're not Marvel DC, is what you're saying. Yeah, it's. I mean, those are the main two licenses they have. But you're right. They have quite the expansive. They even have Assassin's Creed in there. They have and Gears of
Oh
War video
really?
games. Oh yeah,
I haven't looked at them in a while. I obviously
those are old though. Those are old ones that aren't worth your time.
I don't remember the Assassin's Creed ones. I do remember the Gears.
They did a whole Yu-Gi-Oh set too, which is pretty wild. I've seen those.
Those some of those are really good too. I just can't bring myself to buy them. So, anyways, Alan had the Orville set, so I got to punch Seth MacFarlane in the face in Heroclix World. Um, and then uh, Skylar had Avengers. I mean, because he used my clicks, and he just there was no question about that what he was going to use. And I used Batman enemies, so I had
Oh.
Joker, Freeze, Penguin, and we both did this. Alan and I were as we're playing, like, man, it's been so long. Like, I need to read these cards more because we missed so many things as we're playing. There's so many little things that would have helped, and I could have, like, my penguin could have been spawning henchmen the whole game, and I kept forgetting and missing it. And yeah, but it was just it didn't matter though. At least that at this game, it was just so much fun.
Gonna say, yeah, I was just excited. I had a lot of good times with that, and uh, yeah, I forgot a lot of things, and the Orville guys are really cool because they have so much stuff that works together with them, and so they kind of got to stay together. But we saw how well that worked with someone's Iron Man.
They really do got to stay together. Yeah, actually, Skylar, I call it beginner's luck, and I think it's a real thing. I guess he's not so much a beginner, but we treated him like one. But he
Yeah.
actually played the Iron Man like really, really well. Where he
Mhm.
actually had Tony Stark, and then if you do enough damage as Tony Stark, you get to become Iron Man. It's
Oh,
the Iron
wow.
Man 3 version from the movie. Yeah, and he became Iron Man and just mopped the floor with us, which you would imagine that what would happen in the comic world anyway. So yeah, we just kind of took. I think we let him do his thing for a little bit, and he just once he became Iron Man, we kind of realized that we weren't going to beat him.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. Uh, I bought him a Spider-Man set, that Spider-Man one that you were showing us. It's like the versus Carnage,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so
Yeah,
we've
the
actually
Fast
played that
Forces.
after that session too. Yeah, that one's really fun because both Venom and Carnage, they like have shape shift naturally, and it's just kind of annoying. So every time you attack them, you always have to deal with it.
That's what I remember from the comics and the shows. They were really hard to hit. You could never
Yeah.
just land a
Yeah,
hit on
it
them.
makes sense. They were. They definitely were. I'll tell you that much. But it was fun.
So yeah. So who won that match?
I won in the end, but I think it was just he was just getting used to those pieces because he had never played them before, and they weren't as like overpowered as the ones he let from yours because you had those were some really good pieces. Because I think you only
Yeah,
keep like really good pieces right now. And so he had some really really top notch pieces. But these ones took a little bit would take a little more strategy. But I think if with a couple times playing them, he'll do much better with them. And also was able to use my Orville pieces again, so I just used them, so I knew more about them. But it was still super fun, and I was glad that we got to do it, and we actually need to get to do it again. I love this game. I
Mhm.
just can't wait to actually get more into it. But we did use the old rules. I think we're both on the consensus that we'll wait until the Wonder Woman set comes out before changing, which is on April 28th, which is right before my birthday. So I may actually be looking into that. I think I'm planning on getting it because it looks really cool.
If we get to play again before then, I guess the one thing I would like to do is just to get rid of pushing damage. But I don't care either way.
Just move out pushing. Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah, I think that would just move things along, and we could play more matches just because Anyways, if we get to play again, we'll figure that out.
That's yeah. We'll talk about it definitely for sure. But Heroclix, awesome, great to play. Can't wait to play more.
And yeah, they're changing the rules. If it sounds interesting, a lot of the veteran players it sounds like they're not liking it. Excuse me, but I think it's geared towards getting new people in. So if it's something that sounds fun, check it out. Ask us questions, man. Heck, even if I'd be willing, if you've never played, I might be willing to send you some pieces just to check it out because I got a few extra. That being said, it is time to step onto the soapbox. It's time to talk about things that we just may or may not pertain to nerd stuff. Totally unrelated. This is our chance to vent, to give praise to things, you name it. Tomas, it is your time.
All right. Well, my fiance and I have been watching Marvel again. We decided to go through all the cinematic movies that they had on Disney Plus because they have it in order. Although, Kyle, I am going to need to get those 2 Spider-Mans from you in like the next couple weeks, so I'll let you know.
All right. Yeah.
But so we've been watching those, and we watched Thor Dark World again. I've only seen that one, I think, once, maybe twice, maybe a second time. But I started watching it again, and for the first like 30 minutes or so, I was like, man, why did I hate this movie? This movie is not that bad. I really am liking this. And then it takes that huge tonal shift when the mother dies and everything. It just gets like really, really dark and serious. I mean, there's a couple more jokes when he's breaking Loki out, but for the most part, there's no more jokes in it whatsoever. And the end fight is just, it's not a Thor fight. Have you guys realized that? Like, the end fight in that movie is not him going in with his hammer, fighting and stuff. He's running around throwing little harpoons.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, like, you build to this whole climax, and you're like, all right, let's see Thor bring the thunder. Let's see him bring the lightning, and it's like, oh, there's none of that. Okay, that's interesting. And that is really why I didn't like that movie. I think the first time, I think it's why I didn't like it the second time, and I'm sure it's why I didn't like it the third time. Because I was really actually enjoying it up until like towards the end, and I was just like, well, where's Thor? Where is Thor? You know what I mean? Like, so I was actually kind of hoping that the first couple times I had seen it, I had just seen it with jaded vision. But yeah, by the time you get to that end point, it's gotten too serious, and it's strayed away from Thor, which I don't like. I didn't like. So I still love the Marvel movies. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I would have to probably say that it is probably worse than Iron Man 3, and I know Iron Man 3 is a hard one to beat, but it probably beats it. So
Yeah,
we can talk about
Yeah,
Iron
the
Man
more
3
you bring
later and
down
stuff.
Iron
I
Man
know.
3, we will, because the more you bring up Iron Man 3, the more I love it.
I love that we have these qualms with these movies that just become memes, like you said.
It's so thanks for you. It's quickly becoming my favorite Iron Man movie, favorite Marvel movie.
Oh
Just
wow!
Slowly but surely,
just because of
it'll
that.
move up. It'll keep moving up. Got to root for that underdog. Anyways, go ahead. What else do you want to say about it? Sorry.
No, that was just really my thing. I think I finally realized why I've not been a huge fan of Dark World, and it's really that ending fight to me is just so blah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's not a fight. I think you could kind of see that they were trying something different, and thankfully, the third Thor, they turn it around and go back to the stuff we love with it. Yeah, and that was just a bit of a mess. Dark World. Yeah, it's just wasn't.
I
It almost
yeah.
feels like it was falling into the DC trap of just putting out the movie to put it out, and then
Yeah, it didn't really seem like it had a strong storyline. It didn't seem like it was like the first 30 minutes of the movie are actually kind of interesting. Like, oh, okay, they're talking about, how they've rebuilt the Bifrost. They're talking about how he was in New York avenging and he didn't see her and stuff. So, I mean, we're filling in all this past that was missing. But then once they're done filling you in and they start telling you the story, it's like, "Wait, what?" Like, it just starts going all over the place.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
hmm. But alright, who do I slide this box over to?
I got it over here,
Alright.
and I have a request for you guys on this one. You could definitely say no, and we'll see where we go from there. But the PlayStation Plus games um, are out this month for March, and the first thing I want to get on my soapbox about is that I'm pretty sure it's the game I got you for Christmas, Tomas, this month,
Yes.
and last month was the game I got Alan for Christmas.
Yeah,
Which
I did notice
you
that.
know, and I did too, and I was like, "What the heck? I could have got you something else." But you have the physical game, whatever. That to me, I mean, it's now. I mean, I'm just going to tell you guys they were on sale, which is why I got them for you. But it
Oh, of
makes sense
course.
why
Yeah, I
they were
figured.
on sale because they were about to give them out for well, for free with the subscription. That's aside. That's my rant. Um, I'm excited to play both those games because when I picked them up, I was like, man, this is a game I play. And when
If you need a partner on that Revenant, dude, let me know.
all right, cool, yeah, I might pick that one up if I get some time. On top of Avengers, as well as Zelda: Link's Awakening, which my brother gave me for my birthday. So there's a list of games that I really just want to play. But the other game which blew me out of the water that it's on there was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mhm.
I could
It's
not.
pretty nuts, yeah.
I I don't know if you guys have added to your library yet or what, but
Is it up
I
yet?
guess it's been out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out. I think as of today.
Yeah, I
At
always
least for
claim all
the
of them, but this one in particular,
just to do
I
it.
was just yeah, because it just gives you number one, it gives you just a huge collection to go back to whenever you want looking for a game. Number two, there's PS5 games on there, and whenever I get a PS5, because I will,
Uh,
I'll just have a huge library for it already. But Final Fantasy VII, I was excited for because I actually wanted to get that game, but I didn't want to buy it
yeah,
at the time. I
Mhm.
was kind of waiting
dude. Okay.
for it to have a huge collection. Uh, but yeah, it looks
Yeah,
fun. I'm
to have
excited.
all the parts. You're talking
Mhm, yeah,
about
I wanted
putting all
like
the
a
parts
full
together.
game first. I mean, yeah,
Right, right. So this part is a full game, but there is more to come. Like part two of yeah. So yeah. Anyways, I almost bought it recently because I had some gift card money, which I like I said earlier. I ended up getting pre-ordering Hades, which comes out this month, the physical copy on Switch. And I was gonna buy it if it went on sale because I just got a hankering to play it. I want to try it, and thankfully I didn't because man, what a fool I would have been. I just would have felt so. I would have got angry, like really PlayStation. But that being said, my request is I think we should all at least play it, and maybe not by the next podcast, but within the month, and report back what we think of it because I think it'd be more fun that way to play it on your own time, and then come back and say, "Oh, I like this part," or I got into it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll match your bet.
yeah. Well, even if you play it for a couple hours and you said, "Ah, I couldn't do it," that's fine. But yeah, I just think it'd be fun, and we all have the subscription, so I know you guys have access to it.
Yeah. I played the demo and I actually really liked it. So I wanted to give it a shot anyway, so I would give it a shot. Because the combat seemed much closer to like Kingdom Hearts almost, which I enjoy much more than the turn-based. So yeah, I'm excited to actually give it a shot now that it's available.
That part discouraged me. I was hoping that there'd be a way to toggle that.
Really?
I like
I
I
think you
do. I love the
can.
turn-based combat. It's different, but it's not. Yeah, you can't. There's a way to. It's very in depth, but not what I
See,
was looking
I
for.
I'm
Okay,
the
gotcha.
exact opposite. That was one of the reasons that I always stayed away from a lot of the Final Fantasies was, I don't like the Final Fantasies that are turn-based, the ones where it's just like, "You go, then I go, then you go, then I go." I'm fine with it with Pokemon for some reason.
And with
Huh?
D&D
That is interesting.
and
Yeah, it's true, I'm
HeroClix.
with D&D, but for some reason, Final
Well,
Fantasy, I don't know what it is, I
HeroClix.
just never got into it.
You can't include HeroClix into that one, Alan. That's not fair. But it is. I mean, you
Okay.
did mention Pokemon, which is
Yeah, Pokemon is definitely that same style.
yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon's just a
But I
watered
I
down
don't know.
JRPG.
Yeah, I don't know why I never got into the older Final Fantasies. I did enjoy the newer ones when they stopped the whole turn-based thing. Yeah, I don't know what it is about me and Final Fantasy, man, but I never really liked it. But my friend told me, I was playing with him online the other day. He told me that yeah, this one isn't like turn-based, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, maybe I'll do it. So yeah,
Cool. Well, I look forward to hearing both your reports. I expect a full 12-page outline
are we gonna get graded?
by the end of the month. Yeah, you will.
And
And
it'll also
I'm
mail it
very
out. It'll be on a
strict.
permanent record.
Yeah. No, it does affect your overall grade and your ability to graduate. So
You're
take
gonna
that
go for
into
a
heart.
job application, and they're gonna pull it out. You didn't even know they had it. All this looks great, but
So yeah, your
But
report
we
on
have
the
this.
yeah
But we have this 8-page paper here for Final Fantasy. The person said it was supposed to be 12. Yeah, you're 4 pages short.
yeah that's good. Yeah, we're gonna pass. So, anyways, Alan, you're up on the soapbox. Take it away.
all right. Hoity-toity. So let me go back on this. I discover bands all over the place. I love music, and on Twitter, it's been helping me a lot find some more artists. And a couple weeks ago, actually almost a week and a half ago, maybe even if that, I was on Twitter and I saw another band I really like called Catbite posting about this band called Hoity Toity. They had a music video, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll check it out because I like to find new stuff to listen to. And I did. While I was on the music video, I started looking around at the location, and then I started realizing that it was actually somewhere that we all know. It was actually filmed on Redlands Boulevard,
What?
which shocked
Really?
me because Catbite is from Philadelphia. So then I started going down a rabbit hole. I listened to that song first. It was really good. I really liked it, really catchy. I went to a couple other songs, started listening to them, and I started noticing when I went on their Twitter and started looking around that they're from Redlands, California. And that got me really
Oh.
excited, and I kept listening to more and more of their music. Sadly, they only have 10 songs that I can find on YouTube Music. And then about a couple days later, I got a notice on Facebook, which I barely check, but I randomly went on, and there it was. Hoity Toity playing live on Facebook. And I was like, all right, I'm going to check it out. I'm already in. And not only did I listen to it a lot, that band a lot, I also went to that live show. And I was just enjoying the chat and the music, and it was just having a good time. And then it hit me when they brought up that we haven't had live shows in over a year. And I was just sad that I was experiencing this, but I really wished I was there. So I was really enjoying this music, and I really enjoy this band. I would advise you. I think Kyle would really like them. They're they call themselves, they're like an indie alternative rock band. Very catchy, just very lively and positive, and I've been enjoying them a lot. But I just really want to see live music, and so after watching that, it got me really upset that it's been that long, and I really want to go to a show again. So we're hearing that in May, this pandemic may finally be wrapping up in a sense. I mean, it won't be over, but if the vaccines continue to roll out like the way they are, we may be nearing the end of this terrible time in all of our lives now. That's probably left a very big impact in a lot of people. But we'll be able to go out again, hopefully. And like you guys were talking about earlier, maybe even in 2021, things will get back to 2022, things will get back to normal. And that would be really nice. I mean, even after, we get vaccinated and stuff, we're still going to have to wear masks, and that's sad. But hopefully we can get through this and go to a show. And maybe I can go to a show with Kyle again, maybe even tomorrow. So maybe we can drag him out somewhere if he's feeling up to
it. Here's hoping that by the end of this current year, 2021, that things will be. I try not to say normal. I think things will be different, and we can move on, like you guys were saying. We could just move on from this, and here's hoping for that. I think you're right, Alan. Things are looking optimistic, so I hope it continues that way. I'm glad. I'm glad you're still able to find some new music. I will definitely check that group out. And if there's anything else you guys want to say, maybe something I forgot about, this is the time to speak your piece. If not, that is the show for us.
I think we're good, yeah.
We just appreciate you listening. We love you guys. Thank you. We'll catch you next time in a couple weeks.
Sorry about the delay, you guys.
And we'll see y'all next time.